Well, first of all, start by saying good afternoon. It was a tough bus ride, coming back from Alabama A&M. But the good thing about it, I always believe in you find the positives in everything. I was pleased with the way the young men came out and fought for 4 quarters. We've been talking about finishing a football game, and it was good to see them compete for 60 minutes. We just come up a little bit short. I was proud of the offense. I think that's our 2nd straight game of a 100-yard rusher. And Zeke is doing a real good job in that department. And Dre Joseph played an outstanding football game, really throwing the football well for us this year. Defensively, we rebounded after 2 bad games of defense, and we really held them in check all the way until about the last drive. They were able to find the end zone, tied up 17-17, and force overtime. We did a real good job in the running game, playing against one of the better running backs in the conference. He's always up there around the top leading rusher, and we're going to face another good running back this week. But overall, man, I was just happy the way the guys competed and fought for 4 quarters up at Alabama A&M.
Coach, obviously last year when you guys played them, it was a similar situation where they were fighting for a East Division title, and you guys, spoiled their title hopes. You just talk about the motivation you're expecting on their end, obviously knowing what happened last year.
Well, it's going to be an exciting football game. They're coming in. Alabama State is right there at the top. They're in the race. They're in the hunt. They'll probably know more about their faith because we play a little bit later than Jackson State and A&M. So we expect to get a great effort from them. We also expect to give a great effort. So, it's our last home game here for 2012 at Mumford Stadium. So we think our guys will be fired up and ready to go.
Coach, can you just talk about, the progression of Sylvester in the last 2 weeks? What have you seen from him that's had him go over 100 yards 2 straight games?
Well, Sylvester is one of the few players that's had a bye week. He missed a couple games, and due to injury, he was able to get himself well, and you're starting to see that down the stretch. He has those fresher legs coming off injury, so he's running the ball really hard. Very pleased at where he's at the running back position.
Speaking of running backs, you get a guy who played in the SEC, and Isaiah Crowell. What makes him so good? What do you think about the job he's done so far at State this year?
Well, he has that ability to go the distance. He can run between the tackles, has great balance, great power. You can really see why he was chosen to play in the SEC. Outstanding job of finding holes, great visibility. He's probably one of the better running backs that we've seen this year.
Coach, you talked about Sylvester coming back and being fresh and having the 2 back-to-back 100-yard games, but what about the offensive line? You see those guys improving too and doing a little better job in run blocking?
Yes, we're doing a much better job. We've had some injuries on the offensive line. It's good to see those guys come together, step in there, and open up some holes for Ezekwe. Once he has a hole, he do a great job of hitting the hole and getting those yards after contact.
Does that kind of open up the passing game too, for y'all being able to run the ball, or is it the other way around?
Well, I really think the running game helps the passing game. It takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback. When you can't run the football, everybody can just load up and come at your quarterback. But when they have to respect the run, they got to sort of sit back some and not pressure you as much. And that's opening up a lot of lanes for Lee Dawson and Charles Hawkins and Mike Berry to get behind the defense.
Coach, the extra point at that missed by hell, was it just pulled in, or was it?
Well, standing where we was at, we thought, it went through the upright, but, of course, the referees had a much better look at it. It just looked like he just mishit the football, just pushed it a little bit to the right. And, it's unfortunate, but that happens in football.
Is it happening a little bit too much this season with all the missed extra points and field goals? And just how much does that build up after a while? Become very frustrating.
Well, all you can do is put the young man in a position to execute. And we made the play to score the touchdown, and now the field goal team has to go out and do their part. Misses are part of it. We're going to keep practicing it, and when we get the opportunity to kick it, we're going to always try for it and see if we can't get those points. We have 2 kickers. Pittman is coming back this week. He's been a little injured, and you know, those guys are gonna compete for the job this week, and we're gonna see which one keeps it through the uprights the most.
Did, with the 2 blocked field goals, were Matt's kicks a little low, or did you just think it was more an issue with protection?
Well, the first kick was low, you know, and we got to work on getting some height on that ball.
Coach, your backup quarterback, is he still suspended? What's his status on the team? JP?
Yes.
Still suspended.
Yep.
Coach, could you expand on Alabama State's run game, which also includes a running back, a quarterback like run himself?
Well, you know, they have Jenkins back there, number 2, is a very athletic quarterback. They run some zone read, or he had the option of giving it or pulling it, but he's doing a great job of orchestrating their offense. You know, he's very good at what he do. He's a good runner. He's a very good passer, very elusive. We played against him some last year. He came in there at the end and really brought the team back. So we're going to have our hands full trying to stop the running back and the quarterback.
Jenkins was also hurt in that last game for Alabama State, but they also turned to their number 2 quarterback. Duhart came in and put some numbers on the board, did a lot of passes for him. Just asked to set the
Well, you know, we looked at him. We got a chance to see him on film. He's a very polished passer. You know, one thing about the SWAC, you know, you think you can relax when the backup quarterback comes in, but normally, man, these teams have some very good quarterbacks. So when the backup come in, you got to do a very good job of defending him as well. Duhart throws a very, very nice football. You know, has great touch, intermediate, deep ball. You know, he can do it all. And they don't change when he come in. They still run the whole playbook. So he do a great job coming in and running their offense.
And can you talk about their receiving core matching up against your secondary?
Well, they have a couple guys that's having good years. Number 82, number 11. Number 11 catches everything that touches his hands. 82, he can get behind the defense. So we have to pay special attention to those guys because you try to load up the box and stop the run. They have a very good passing attack. So we have to be balanced in what we do and really pay attention to all their threats.
And also your secondary, I guess you could say, had a good performance, allowing 92 yards in the air against Alabama and also forcing 2 interceptions. Is there anything you need to change, or just want to go out there with that same intensity?
Well, you know, the one thing we got to understand is that, you know, a pass rush helps. You know, we had a better pass rush against Alabama A&M, and, you know, was able to get some pressure on the quarterback. And we're going to need to do the same thing this week because, you know, if you let the quarterback stand back there and have some time, then he's going to find some open receivers. So collectively, we got to do a great job on defense to stop Alabama State.
Coach, you talked last week about the scheme on defense and changing it up a little bit. Want to get more of a pass rush. So apparently y'all were able to do that. How much too are y'all getting better as far as injury wise on defense right now too?
Well, we're healthy. You know, we're healthier than we were 3 weeks ago. So, you know, but the thing is, we're really doing the same thing. But guys are executed. They executed better Saturday. You know, that's what it comes down to. You know, they were in position. They had a chance to make some plays, and they made them. So, of course, it looked like we're a different defense. But when you execute, you're going to look different.
Coach, I know you weren't able to. The seniors weren't able to pull off that winning season like they wanted to with that loss. Do you feel like they're still motivated for the rest of the season?
Oh yeah, they'll be motivated to play. You know, this is their last game here, and they'll be excited about running out A.W. Mumford Stadium for the last time.
Coach, is it going to be hard for you guys defensively to prepare for what you're going to see at quarterback? Or I mean, do you feel like you might see both of their quarterbacks this week, or how do you prepare for that side of it?
Well, the good thing about it is they don't change their offense regardless who's in there. They're still going to run their offense. So it's more of a scheme thing than a player thing. So we're going to try to stop what they do best. And what they do is they like to run the football, and when you load the box up, they're going to try to get behind you.
And Crowell obviously has been somebody who's helped them in the return game. Is there going to be a little more emphasis, I guess, on putting yourself in a good position when you're kicking the ball down?
You know, we got to do a very good job of covering all our lanes and making sure we understand that they have a special talent back there. And, you know, but if we do our job to our best of our ability, you know, getting all our guys to go full speed and get down the field and stay in their lanes, we feel pretty good. We've been pretty good in special teams in our return units and our coverage units. We just got to get our kicking units up to speed.
Can you just talked about how big it would be for your team to get a win, just unable to finish out games these last 3 weeks?
Yes, it's been a while since we tasted victory, so, for the young men and the way that they're playing and the way they're coming out every week and practicing and focusing on the team that we got to play, it'd be exciting to see them walk off for the seniors to walk off the field for their last home game with a victory.
And a win like this before the Body Classic?
Well, before you go into our bye week, you love to go into your bye week preparing after a win. It makes the bye week a little bit longer. You feel a little bit better about yourself, and, it'll be exciting for the young men getting ready for their finale.